About a month ago, I had some friends of mine, a couple, do a social experiment where they pretended to be each other on a dating app. So he had her profile as a woman and she had his profile as a man. The result in the end was that Adam learned how easily replaced he was, that his girlfriend, Victoria Rose, could easily get another boyfriend if she wanted to. Now, after seeing the video, there were lots of people concerned that I had inadvertently broken up their relationship, that by showing Victoria Rose how many other options she had, that she was automatically going to leave Adam. She was going to branch swing and trade up to another man. So at the end of this video, I'm going to give you an update 1 month on what has happened to their relationship. But right now, I want to share something that we sort of discovered by accident while running this experiment, because the biggest takeaway from Adam and Victoria Rose's perspective wasn't necessarily the replaceability of one gender over the other. It was how unbelievably, frustratingly bad most men are at messaging women. They didn't know what to say, and they were absolutely horrible at setting up dates. So while Adam was pretending to be a woman and getting so furious at all the men being completely hopeless messaging him, Victoria Rose took those lessons and applied them in her text game, so that when she was pretending to be a man, texting women, she was able to get a lot of really positive results in a short period of time. In fact, in just 1 week, she managed to convince 13 different women to come out on dates with her. That is really impressive, and I think that there's a lot to learn from this, and so I'm going to share some of the bonus footage that you haven't yet seen from that experiment. So in this set of clips, you're going to see Adam express how frustrating it was that men didn't just have the balls to actually ask him out on a date. Let's check it out.
Started deleting people who obviously aren't reading the bio, which I've stated will not reply to hey, hi, etc. Put some effort into your messages or you won't get anything.
Oh, you were just expecting to get dates straight away?
Yeah, I was expecting,
But instead, you're getting like lots of interest, but they're annoyingly time consuming.
Yes.
And they're not just getting to it and essentially wasting your time because they're like, blah, 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 text, blah, 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 text back, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I hate that.
I just think that that's really interesting because I used to find it impossible for guys to actually ask me out on a date. It would drive me bonkers. And if they did, they'd be like, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Plan your own date. Feminism. And it would drive me insane. It's like, if you want to take me on a date, I can't pick it because then I'm taking myself on a date. You're just coming. I don't think I'd be impressed if I was actually a female on there.
A guy asked me what my ideal date was, and my response was very you. It was where the guy actually comes up with every part of the idea.
Oh my God.
Takes me on a date.
Boots.
And yet he beat around the bush for ages and didn't actually ask me on a date.
Oh my God, he still hasn't?
No, still hasn't.
Women on these dating apps are getting hundreds and hundreds of matches and messages. She doesn't have time to have a long conversation to respond to all of them. She wants you to get to the point. Ask her on a date. And do not ask the girl what she wants to do on the date. There is nothing respectful or feminist about you reneging on your responsibility as the man to take the leadership role in planning a date. You're the masculine one. You do the planning. She's the feminine one. She wants to be taken on an adventure. Planning a date requires logistics, timeframes, coordination. These are the strengths of the masculine. You want to handle all of that because that's going to allow her to stay in her feminine mindset where she's just joining you for a chapter of your already amazing and interesting life. You'll see that in these next clips.
So it's day 6 today. I feel like when I do engage with them, they're always very, very happy to say yes to going on a date with me. I think that's because I'm very direct. From what he's told me, a lot of the guys are not instigating a date. They're not manning up. And I've therefore tried to, be proactive and be like, hey, I like you. Let's go out. Because nobody wants their time wasted going back and forth in messages. You either want to meet or you don't. And that seems to be really effective and girls really seem to like that. And
super over it at this stage. I kind of stopped swiping because it's a nightmare, to be honest. The convos they're just long and dragging on. The people who are asking me on a date, they're kind of, rather than just asking me on a date, they're all kind of posing it as a weird hypothetical question, or what if we maybe go and do this, rather than just having a sack and saying, hey, let's meet up.
Also, check out this footage with them explaining how frustrating it was to receive the same questions over and over again.
I hate having to ask or being asked, what do I do for work? Or why did I move here? They're not good convos. Sort it out. Make something interesting, please, before I shoot myself in the face.
I totally agree, because your job doesn't actually define you. I don't want to tell you. You're the 750th person who has asked me this. Why would I want to tell you this? This is a bad question. Ask like, if you were to win $1 million tomorrow, what would be the first thing you spent your money on?
Something interesting. It'd be fantastic.
I could talk for an hour about what I'd do with $1 million.
Realise that these same people have asked the same question so many times and be original.
It's like what we do to taxi drivers. We always ask them the same questions. Like, how long have you been driving a taxi? Where are you from? Do you enjoy this? Have many people thrown up in your cab? They're sick of it. Ask them a new question like, ooh, what's this thing on your mirror?
Remember, you as a man might have only received one match that day, but she as a woman has received hundreds of matches. There's all these men messaging her. If you don't stand out, she will not respond. Don't play it safe. Take some risks. Make it fun. Make it creative. Make it emotional. Make it playful and flirtatious. Here's some more footage from day 7 of the experiment, with Victoria Rose explaining how she was able to achieve success by being direct.
As a man, as long as you ask for the date, you will get it. At least that has been my experience. And I think women are probably easier than men, because as a man, I just been like, hi, I like you, a little bit of conversation, let's go out. Adam's having a more difficult time because none of the men will actually ask him out, which is infuriating. If they just did it, then he could move on with his life, but they're all pussies and are too scared to do it.
I think it's just mostly to do with the guys just being shit at opening conversations. Like, if you say something interesting, if a girl, like, I've had over 600 matches. If a girl has 600 matches and you go with hey, compared to someone who opens with an intriguing opening line, which one do you think she's going to go with? The same thing that she's heard 1,000 times, or something funny and catchy? I hope that once this video gets edited and made, that this makes into it and guys can realise, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't be that lazy. Otherwise,
Just gonna keep on swiping forever.
It's not going to work.
And lastly, I wanted to include some of the conversation that I had with them at the end of the experiment, where they talked about the struggles that they faced with messaging.
When you get stupid messages like, hey, but it doesn't start a conversation. You're like, I can't be bothered doing that with you when someone over here is like sending me something that's intriguing, sending me like even a joke or something that makes me laugh, makes me smile, makes me want to respond.
All women want is some directive. I started with a little bit of small talk once I matched with somebody. And I mean like a little bit, but you know, funny, a good line. Like I'd open with something about their picture and or their bio. So I'd say like, I love the fact that, you know, so many of your photos are outdoors. You must really like hiking. How long do you usually hike for when you go for a walk? Like a question that they can answer, and it's not just going to be like I go for 30 minutes. It will be like so on the weekends I go for a hike that's like 4 hours, but in the week I just sort of walk around the block. And then I can go, oh, is your block big or whatever, you know? And then I will go, well, let's go for a walk together. So very immediate from like the message I send about whatever it is in their description or in their picture, and work that straight into well, let's go on a date. Because you don't want to spend your whole life on your phone going back and forth. You kind of just want to meet the person, because then you'll know. There's no point spending 2 weeks on an app going back and forth, miscommunicating because it's technology, just to meet and then realize you don't like each other.
Now, for people who are curious about what Victoria Rose actually said, the exact words that she used in her text, to be able to get 13 different women to go on a date with her inside a week, I actually have a video where I go through all of the texts and analyze what she said and why it worked. That video is available on my Patreon page, and the feedback that I got is that people found it very useful to hear me explain the psychology and actually use these real examples. So if you're somebody who's still using these dating apps and you want to see how someone was able to make it work and have so much success, I highly recommend signing up to my Patreon and checking out that video. And finally, let's have an update. What happened to this couple? Did I completely destroy their relationship? Now that they've done this social experiment and Victoria Rose sees how many options that she has, did she monkey branch? Did she break up with Adam and is she now going on hundreds of dates looking for a higher quality man? Let's hear from them directly.
So, after the last video that I made with Victoria Rose, it turns out
We're still together.
Still as happy as ever. Alex did not at all ruin our relationship, as some people might have suggested.
I forgot about it. I completely forgot about the whole experiment, actually.
I love some of the comments. Some of the comments actually provided lots of entertainment for myself. One of the best ones I found was that I needed to shower more, apparently. I'd like to let you know that
They got smell-o-vision.
I do shower, sometimes up to 3 times a day, depending on gym and such. So, how about you? Do you want cover the cheating and wanting to run away?
Yeah, I don't have time to cheat, nor do I like going out the house enough to be bothered with that. Also, I don't need to because I kind of like him anyway. And I'm not destroying his soul and sucking it out from the inside like a demon.
No, I find myself generally pretty happy.
Yeah, but, it was kind of funny-ish, I guess. But yeah, like we're fine and we're happy, and to be honest, it didn't affect it. It's not that it made us stronger or anything, it just really just did not affect us in any way. I think we both knew where the power stood between us, and it doesn't matter because we love each other. So yeah, we're fine and we'll continue to be.
Okay, I hope that you enjoyed that. I'm going to finish with Victoria Rose explaining where you can find her on social media. Remember, if you want to see an analysis of the actual text conversations that Victoria Rose used to get 13 different women to go on a date with her inside a week, that's available on my Patreon page.
If you would like to follow me on social media or read my blog, I would absolutely love that. I do have a few social media names though. So my blog is victoria-rose.com, which is easy enough to remember because it's my name. My Instagram is realvictoriarose because there are other people out there with that name too, which I just think is very rude. My YouTube is The Real Victoria Rose, and that's hyphenated. And Twitter and TikTok aren't so nice. They don't really let you have long names. So my Twitter is The Real Victoria _R, and TikTok The Real Victoria Row, because S and E apparently isn't good enough for them. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this video.